One of those big problems that you've really been at the forefront of working on is how to help Americans without college degrees. I love this term that you had coined a few years ago, the new collar jobs. And at your when you were leading IBM, I wrote about some of this. You
You
really
did.
created pathways, including a program that I loved called P-Tech that you could
Yep.
probably say more about, but it really created pathways for students coming right out of high school to both earn some associate's degree type credentials and have a pathway to even a white collar job in the tech industry. Can you say more about, do we just really in this country need to rethink education after high school?
Yeah, I do think we do. And I'll start with, though, to be the first one to say, I also am a vice chair at a university. So it is not that I don't believe in a college degree for many people, but just to where you started, I also believe in just facing the reality of the facts today. And I remember when I first got into this topic well over a decade ago, Heather, when you mentioned the term new collar, it was when I was worried. I was hiring cyber people and there was no one out there. And I was very worried that the tech was being celebrated on the west side of our country and on the east coast, but the middle was left behind, that digital divide thought. And I'm like, this isn't a good future if everybody thinks, their future with tech is not going to be good for them. And that was serendipity that we found one of these. We were working with a school, one school that is what you referenced, a pathway to technology school, high school, working with a community college. Think of it as a 6-year program. You get your high school degree and associate in parallel. It was in the corporate social responsibility group. So just serendipity, I walked in, did a review, and I went, maybe there's something here. And today, there are now 300 of these high schools around the world in 28 countries. States like New York, Texas have very large numbers of them. And what it proved to me is what my mom taught me: access, aptitude, exactly two different things. And that where each of us starts, like my mom, no education, should not determine where we have to end. And so when you consider 65% of Americans and 80% of Black Americans don't have a college degree, that was my first startling fact to really believe that. Put that aside. And the second is what I then learned over the next decade would be how many of us have over credentialed really good jobs, middle class, family sustaining jobs, because it just got easy to say, click, need a college degree, when to get started, you don't. And so it's probably maybe 85% of jobs I now, with the work I do, see it are require the college degree. Maybe half of that's over credentialed. So you could just see what a big difference it could make to so many people. And, this decade has taught me, we've studied a lot of the performance, and the employees that we brought in, originally called new collar, meaning not blue collar, not white collar. That is how the new collar came about, just to have not a bad stigma with this. They're performing equal to those with a college degree. They're thirstier for education. They take more education. They're more loyal, more retentive. And so this isn't just altruistic. It is about, I think, great for the company, a more diverse workforce, and great for society. So does that require a rethink of our education system? I think it does, but not like I talk about in the book, know what should change and what should endure. There's a lot of great things about the education system, but there are many incremental improvements we could make that would make a huge difference.